Okay. The next person that I'll be interviewing is Miss Carla Staggs. She is our school nurse. She is the head of our nursing department. She takes care of all the kids in the Kinder School District. So without any further ado, we'll get to the interview here. Miss Carla, what type of technology do you use on a routine basis for the treatment of kids or communication with the parents, things of that sort?
Medical technology, the most common thing is obviously the thermometer. And then after that, the vision and hearing machines that we use to check children's eyes and ears.
Okay.
The ophthalmoscope, which is the machine to look into the children's throats and to look into their ears to see what's going on. And then, of course, office-type technology is the main one is the computer, okay, and then the telephone.
Sure.
The most common that I can think of.
All right. And I, especially like with the vision and hearing screenings, how do you communicate with the parents after if the kids need help in that aspect?
If the children need help, I usually send a letter home.
Okay, so you do it through a letter.
Yes.
Okay. All right. To what degree you don't have anyone that works underneath you? No. Okay.
No.
So you're it. So do you consider yourself to be pretty proficient with the technology in your
with
department?
the technology that I have on hand? Yes, I would consider myself pretty proficient. I have a feeling that on the computer there probably is a lot more that I could use,
Okay.
but I'm not real knowledgeable. But what I have been taught, I'm
Right.
pretty
Absolutely.
proficient at it. Yes.
Okay. But if you're not there, surely someone else can take their temperature and things of that sort.
Yes,
so.
that's true. We do have, usually it's the receptionist, and they know how to take a temperature.
Okay. Outstanding. Do you think that the technology helps you to be more efficient?
It definitely does. One of the most prominent things that I can talk about in technology is our LINKS system, Louisiana Immunization Network. That system was started probably about, I'm guessing 10 years ago, maybe a little bit longer than that. And at the time, we were getting immunizations in a paper form. Everything had to be in a paper form or in a card form. And whenever a parent came from another community in Louisiana, many times they would not have any immunization records, so we had no idea whether the children were up to date
Right.
or not. Many times I had to pick up the phone and call the doctor's office to see if they had complete immunizations. Sometimes the child had to stay out of school because I had no confirmation of any immunizations.
Wow. Okay.
Now, all I have to do is get on the computer, look up on LINKS. Every single health unit, every doctor's office, everybody in Louisiana puts their immunization records right there into LINKS. And so
Awesome.
all I have to do is type in the child's name and the date of birth, and it immediately shows me the immunizations that they had. So it has really helped a lot.
Well, good. And that's good to know.
Yeah. The computer, in other words, has come in handy.
Sure.
Another thing, the thermometers. We used to use the old-fashioned mercury thermometers, and I would have this little round thing in my office that had antiseptic solution in it, and we'd keep the thermometers in there,
Right.
and I'd have to wash them all the time, and make sure that they were clean. And the way we do it now is just it's a digital kind of thermometer that we use, and whereas a child had to keep a thermometer in their mouth at least 3 minutes,
Right.
now with the digital thermometer it's 3 seconds, and you immediately get a temperature. So it certainly has made it not as long
Sure.
a time to be able to assess a child to see if they need to go home or if they're okay to stay in school.
Right. Do you feel that technology, that the use of technology has aided in the way that you are able to accommodate these kids?
Oh yes. The One thing that's helped a lot, speaking of it, one specific disease is the diabetics.
Okay.
You know, they have their little glucometers where at any time of the day they can test their sugar to see if it's high or low so they can go ahead and treat it. Whereas before, I can remember the first diabetic that I remember in this high school, the dad would have to leave work to come to the school
Oh, wow.
to check his blood sugar and then decide how to treat the blood sugar problem. At lunchtime, the dad had to come and give the insulin to the child because we had no glucometer here at school
Sure.
to be able to determine how much insulin he was to get. Now the children carry those glucometers with them in the school system, and they can check it anytime they want to, or they'll leave it here in the office,
Right.
and they'll check themselves anytime they want to. So it gives them a little more independence, and it also gives us a little more independence because we immediately know what to do.
Sure.
You know, as soon as the child comes in and complains of something, the first thing we say is check your sugar.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know how to take care of it. And so the child is in the office and out of the office and back in class a lot sooner
Perfect.
than what he used to be.
What do you think the strengths or the weaknesses of the technology that you use, and could it be better?
That's a tough one. I see a lot of strengths. You know, I see where having a telephone in my office has helped me a whole bunch because I've been able to have private conversations regarding children who have medical problems.
Sure.
I can pick up the phone immediately and call a parent whenever there's a sick child and things like that. The computer has helped me a lot because I don't have to write all of my notes longhand. It takes much longer time, and so all my notes are now in the computer. The only weaknesses I can think of right now is if the electricity's out.
Right.
You know, you can't use your computer, you can't use the phone, and that can become a problem. But I can't think of a weakness.
Well, good. That's a good thing then.
Uh-huh.
But thank you very much for your time and for contributing to this interview, Miss Carla.
Okay, you're welcome.